Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Lessons from the street game. You know what? I was thinking about how I really learned the game. And I've said it 1,000 times. And this is why I hate to say it, but I've got low regard for somebody who think they fully learned the game just by taking some seminars or something. And this is even in the case where I've given some seminars. Because at the end of it, I say, yeah, you got to get out there and learn. See, here's the thing. The street game is more than just about getting pussy. Like the street game, yeah, there's the aspect of it, right? Of course, there's an aspect of getting sex, of course. Because, in the streets, you learn how to get attention. You learn how to be bold, right? You know how you learn how to get that right bait. You know how to spit, right? And that's one thing. And really, a lot of guys who've read my book who like got that street background, they was like, "Oh yeah, this the game right here," right? That's cool. But you learn more lessons from the street game because really, if you're in the streets and you learning there, you realize getting pussy is. That's not the main reason you out there. Because the thing with the street game, part of that is just survival. Part of that is survival, especially you in certain areas or something. You ain't out there just trying to get pussy unless that's your strict hustle. And you do got some low level gigolos out there though, unless that's your strict hustle, right? But usually, yeah, you getting sex, you know how to spit. You figure out how to read women, which is a key part of it too. That's a key part of the game, how to effectively read women. That's when I take somebody seriously. Like that's why I'm gonna be honest. Let me. This is just a little tangent. I evaluate someone's game by how they tell me how they read women. Like if they can't, and when that's like their subtle signals or just period. Like they gotta be able to look at. To me, they gotta be able to look at a woman and tell me with some degree of accuracy what's going on with them, right? They gotta be able to tell me, right? And like you're never going to be 100% accurate, but accurate enough, right? Like being able to be confident in it. That's how I judge it, because that's a big part of the game, especially in the streets, right? Because in the streets, right, like some of those street cats will be macking a lot of women. They know which ones to get. They don't just be hollering at random women and shit. It's just like a homeless person or a panhandler or something. They know which people to hit up who are likely to give them money. So that's the same thing with the street cat. But then it's bigger, like I said, it's bigger than that. It's survival. It's hustling. Because a big part of it is, it's like, okay, how you interact with people out here. One of the things, and a couple people picked this up about me, right? I can do levels with people. Like if somebody, and people have actually said that who've been around me, like if I'm around somebody who's more professional, more straight-laced, I might speak a certain way, but then if I get around some true hood dude, I speak another way. But that's one of the lessons you learn, because one of the things that hood dude is sizing you up. And if you in front of him, he's sizing you up. He's saying he's labeling you. Because that's one thing in the streets, man. It's predator and prey. So he's sizing you up. He's sizing you up. He's saying, okay, this a sucker motherfucker right here. Or this a bitch ass motherfucker right here. Or this a thorough dude. I'm just going to let him through. Right? That's how he's sizing you up. You sized up every single time. They checking you out. Like the woman might check you out. Like in the streets. One thing you learn is every woman you encounter, because they got their own game too. They sizing you up. They looking at it, it's like, all right, this dude break my back, or this dude, he a sucker. He a mark. I can get money out of him. I can juice him. That's something we used to say. Boy, depending on certain neighborhoods, they sizing you up. So one of the lessons from the street game is you actually learn about image. You actually learn your demeanor. You actually learn like your speech intonation. If you say something, you ain't gonna be like, hey, how you doing? in the streets. It's like, damn, if somebody did that in certain neighborhoods, especially in certain black neighborhoods, I'd be like, you know what, just hand them your wallet. Or, you know, split it up. Split it up. Right? And only do that. And really, if you got some business in that neighborhood or something, you pretty much screwed. You're pretty much screwed, because once you hand over some money or something, you be back there. And especially like if you're a young person or something, you might be forced to do some things you don't want to do, because you do got some, you got real predators, all right? But you learn how to speak a certain way. You learn how to walk a certain way, because that's being evaluated. If you walking through kind of goofy or something, and you know or unsure, you're prey. But if you walking through confidently, because that's one place you'll get confidence. Live in a hood for a while. In fact, I did a video about that. I said if you really want to be red pilled, get rid of all your shit. Move to take a one-way bus ticket to a city that you have no familiarity with. You don't have any relatives, don't know anybody in. Move there, right? Especially if it's a major metropolitan area. Move there, poor area, you know. And if you can survive for a year, you'll be red pilled. So anyway, the lessons you learn, you actually learn a lot of stuff that contributes to game. You learn about your voice, right? You learn that, you know, to get some pussy, you need to have a good scent, and you need to look a certain way. You got to look clean in a certain way. But then you also learn you got to balance that out about not looking like you some punk. Like you can learn, you need to look like if somebody fuck with you, at the very least, they're going to know they've been in a fight. And somebody might say, man, that's crazy in this day. No, you still being sized up. I don't care how old you are. If you walk through a bad neighborhood, you can be an elder. And they sizing you up. Like the dudes, they looking at you like, yeah, we can rob this motherfucker. You know? Because I had a step-grandfather, man. He actually got robbed, man. Came home with my grandmother one time. This dude was laid out in the pantry. Because he had a bad habit of flashing his money. They ain't a street sense. That's one thing you learn. You know, you want to look like, one, you want to look like you ain't the person to fuck with. Two, you know, you got to be cognizant who, like somebody always looking at you. That's one thing in the hood. In these streets, man, somebody always paying attention to your shit. Someone's always paying. Real talk, I'm gonna tell you what. I was in Baltimore, right? Years ago when I first moved to the area, man. I was at this festival. It's a Pan-African type of thing. Was me and my wife at the time was selling like some cookies or something. I was selling some books and something like that, right? We had our two young sons with us, right? And my youngest, he was just really starting to walk and everything. So he was walking around. He never get too far from us, right? But then this particular park where we had this thing, this was right in the middle of Baltimore, had some drug addicts and shit hanging around, right? And, you know, they were coming over. They were actually paying money for some cookies. they needed some money. They was getting the butchies, right? So, right, you know, Blase ain't really thinking anything of them. I kept my eye on them because, you know, that street sense, you look at, that's one thing in the streets, man. You pay attention to everything around. You see everything. You got 360 vision. You got to if you want to survive, because that crazy ass person come through and you sizing up everybody. In fact, we had a Bloods gang walk through there. They were actually very respectful. They ain't started no shit. They were real quiet. They just walked through, kind of looked at shit, kept walking. All right? It was cool. But, you know, one time my kid was walking and we saw him, you know, we let him, it's a little park, so we ain't have him like under tow all the time. One of us was always keeping an eye on him, but then, you know, my wife at the time, my co-parent now, she came back to me and said one of those drug dealers said something. Well, no, not drug dealer, but drug addict said something to us like, you know, don't lose the kid or anything and all of that. And I'm like, hold up, why these niggas looking at my child like that? And Ron was about to start some shit because I went over to him. It was a group of them. I said, what the fuck y'all looking at my child for? All right? But my point is, you know, the streets, every day paying attention to every little thing you doing. They looking for a weakness and everything, but that's a lesson for life. You know, like a lot of shit you can stop by just presenting, right? Because even when I approached these dudes, I ain't know them. They could have been crazy. They could have been armed for all I know. Right? I ain't give a fuck. But I I walked over in a certain way that let them know I'll be ready to kill one of them, like for even looking at my child a certain way. And that's how I sounded. That's how I looked at them. But that's a lesson. That's a lesson in life you learn, right? And that lesson not only translates into getting pussy, which I know a lot of you want, but just living life, period. You know, I've backed down. I've been on jobs where I backed down some person because I said, okay. Apparently they mistaken Rom for something. And of course you're gonna be different. You ain't gonna be all rough on the job. But then I had to let Romeo come out. That was my street name coming up in DC. I had to let Romeo like deal with it. And I backed down people on jobs and shit. All right. But that's a lesson you learned. And it's an important lesson because it's, you know, because you're right in the middle of it. Like I said, it's a be eating environment. And it's not a bad thing. Like I said, if you want to be red pill, truly red pill in my honest opinion, you know, other than another way I say, you know, being that other man, but man, just be out there in some situation where you know what it is. It come down to survival and where you want to be, because you learn one thing, and it's really, honestly, even though it's heavily pronounced in the streets, it's the same thing in corporate America. It's the same exact thing. You can be in a more civilized, supposedly civilized or cleaner environment. It's still the same thing. I can go through a neighborhood with $1 million houses. And I'm gonna tell you who running the yard. I'm gonna tell you who running shit, who punking people, who getting their way. All I do is let me just walk through for an hour. Let me walk through, like if they have like some type of gathering of some other people. I'm gonna tell you the pecking order. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, all right, I'll take one of them to the side and say, okay, yeah, that dude, that's the dominant motherfucker around here. That's the alpha, you know. Oh, that alpha's probably fucking that dude's wife over there, right? You know, that guy y'all think cleaning the, you know, y'all coming in here cutting y'all grass and stuff. He dipping into some houses and shit. I'm gonna let you know. But you know, one of the lessons there is you pay attention to everything. You see everything. 360. It's literally 360. You like, I can go into most situations. Now I'm gonna say most, and if I want to, now you know I'm gonna say any situation, because this is still you. That one time you slip, I'm gonna say every situation. That one time you don't pay attention, that's when you get got, right? But I'm gonna tell you the social dynamics. I do that automatically because it was a survival thing. You got to know who likely going to try to test you, and who likely can do anything. As far as the game, I'm gonna tell you what, in the streets, a lot of cats, street cats especially, right? They know who, as they say in Baltimore, who the dummies are, you know, coming up, who the easy girls are. So that's how they get there. It's because they reading everything. They reading the people, see who the punks are, who the predators, who they need to like be kind of chill with, who they can like take, you know, who they can get money out of if they need it. You know, walk up to somebody, yo man, let me hold $10. All right, they know the motherfucker punk gonna give it to them. So anyway, a lot of lessons there, a lot of lessons. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all later. Peace.